So one thing that kind of pisses me off about the world of voice activation is this obsession with throat chakra blocks. Okay, I'm sure we've all heard this, or maybe been told this, or maybe told someone this. I have a throat chakra block, you have a throat chakra block. Okay, what the fuck? What does that mean? Okay, this is like spiritual diagnosis. This is like when a doctor is like, oh, you're covered in red rashes, you have eczema. Like, it's giving nothing. It's giving literally the bare minimum. Okay? It doesn't tell us what, it doesn't tell us why, it doesn't speak to root cause, it doesn't illuminate anything whatsoever. It's just the ability to name and acknowledge an experience someone is having, and because we are so used to, in the medical world, receiving the bare minimum, we're like, oh my god, thank you. I have something that you can acknowledge. Like, I have an experience that you can acknowledge. So I recognize that this can be validating. The throat chakra block can be validating for people who are struggling to express themselves or feeling their voice shut down in certain situations. It can be validating for someone to tell them you have a throat chakra block, or to look up on the internet and go, oh, I have a throat chakra block. The thing is, if you are calling the challenge you experience with your expression a throat chakra block, you do not understand it. There is so much about this experience and pattern that you are not in relationship with, because it is so much deeper and so much more interesting than that. The other issue that I have with this is that it suggests that there is this sort of like random block, this thing, this implant, this energy that's just in the throat center, and that maybe all we need is someone to pull it out or to have the right activation, right, to sort of remove and release that energy. While there are people who are obviously very skilled at clearing energy in the body, and for some that can be supportive to maybe receive a quote-unquote clearing, right, maybe have some space, literally more space within themselves to be more aware and come into deeper relationship with the pattern. Ultimately, somebody else clearing your throat chakra block is the same as somebody treating your symptom without addressing the root cause. You get temporary relief, right? But as long as that root patterning is still functioning, right, is still operating, it just reestablishes the symptom, i.e. the quote-unquote throat chakra block. When most people are talking about a throat chakra block, they don't actually know what they're talking about. It's this very vague, generalized concept. And a lot of it is rooted in Western medical paradigm thinking and religious paradigm. Okay, there's this thing in you, and it's wrong, and it shouldn't be there, and it's bad, and we have to like remove it, because that's why you have a hard time doing this or that. That's why this is challenging, because there's this thing in you, this implant, this thing that needs to be removed, and when it's removed, you're going to be free. Okay, that is the same mentality that we bring to symptoms in the body, and it very rarely works. Symptoms, okay, whether they be a quote-unquote voice block or physical symptoms in the body, health symptoms, are literally the most miraculous, intelligent dance of expression and communication. It is literally your body, that which you are in human form, gorgeously communicating with you. Perceiving symptoms of any kind, whether they be behavioral, physical, expression related, right, communication related, as something that is wrong, something that needs to be fixed, a flaw, something that needs to be healed, something that needs to be cleared, right, is literally the inability to be in communication with a message. Okay? And this is like so much more sort of on the nose when it comes to literal expression blocks, quote unquote blocks, okay? Because you are desiring to communicate who you are to the world. And your body, your voice, your nervous system, by refusing to openly, authentically communicate, is communicating something to you. There is only communication. How are you supposed to consciously, coherently communicate yourself to others, to the world, if you cannot be in conscious, coherent communication with yourself, specifically the part of you that expresses, which is your body, okay? Voice is body, okay? Inherently connected to the nervous system, okay? How can you expect yourself to consciously, coherently communicate with others if you cannot be in conscious, coherent communication with the part of you that resists? The part of you that through its resistance is sending a very clear message if you are willing to listen. The ability to communicate is rooted in the foundation of your capacity to listen, your willingness to listen. The desire to express yourself is rooted in the innate need and organic movement towards connection, which is foundational to our human experience, to our literal mammalian design. If you desire to express yourself, which is essentially coherently connect to others, you have to be coherently connected to yourself, and there is no part of you that is in need of coherent connection from you more than the part that is blocked, okay? That is resisting, that collapses, that withholds, that spills, right? That gets distorted in its truth and its expression. Blocks you have to your expression are beautiful, miraculous patterns. They are the ways in which your voice, your expression, your body, your nervous system, your neural networks have organized themselves around experience, specifically unresolved experience, okay? The experiences you weren't able to integrate or metabolize. This is what we call trauma, okay? Your blocks are intelligent trauma responses, and they have only ever kept you safe, okay? And they are only intelligent in nature. So this might be a little provocative, but if you're all about being open in your expression and clearing your blocks, and maybe you're even like wanting to like be a part of the world of voice activation and expression, but you just want to clear your throat chakra blocks and you don't want to actually be in relationship with the part of you that is quote unquote blocked, you're missing the point. The capacity that you cultivate to express yourself authentically, right? Fully. The ability you have to embody the full spectrum, the broader and broader spectrum of who you are, and share that, externalize that, is literally your capacity to be with the part of you that resists, to be with the block, to be with the part of you that shuts down, that hides, right? That collapses. So this is what the Soul Sound program that I'm currently offering for a limited time is about. It is about learning how to reclaim your voice from relational trauma. And this means building and cultivating the capacity to be with your quote-unquote blocks, to be with the contraction, to be with the collapse, to be with the withholding, to begin to understand how absolutely intelligent your body is, how intelligent your blocks are. Don't mind all the gunshots. I live in Appalachia. It is cultivating the capacity not only to be with, but to respond, to be in communication and relationship with that part of you. Jeez. So if you're someone who's felt like you've dealt with a throat chakra block for a long time, and you've tried lots of things, and those approaches didn't really work, and you often feel like, the throat is getting tight, closing up, right? You have a hard time expressing yourself. Maybe your mind goes blank when it comes time to share. Maybe you find like your boundaries are being crossed, but you realize it too late, like you're not even able to say no or recognize in the moment. Maybe you're really sensitive to other people's energy, okay? And the way other people feel and the energy that they're in influences how you are, how you act, how you express yourself, and also how you experience yourself. All of these things are highly intelligent trauma responses, okay? They're intelligent ways that your expression has organized itself around relational trauma. Now, my orientation to trauma and trauma response is not remotely negative, right? That is life. We have experiences that are sometimes too big. That's part of it, right? Experiences that we cannot metabolize, that we cannot integrate. But the beauty that is the body that holds experience, right, Because the body holds experience, the body does not live in time. And that means that it's never too late to build the capacity. It is never too late to integrate and metabolize, right? And it is never too late to start to reorganize our patterning.